Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Dirt Sheet Radio NXT post-show rewind for January the 23rd, 2024. I am Tyler, the pro wrestling hipster at PW Hipster over on Instagram, Twitter, Threads, the pro wrestling hipster over on Facebook. Gentlemen, let's introduce ourselves and hop right into the main event segment for the night.
What's up, guys? It's Darian, aka Soup, DC Soup. Ready to review another episode of NXT. It's Tuesday night again, guys.
CJ Carter at CJ Carter 22 on Twitter, and a decent episode of NXT. Not my favorite, especially paralleled to recent weeks, but we'll talk more about that as the show goes on.
Yeah, we're 1 week shy of the go-home show for Vengeance Day, so I figure next week they'll probably turn the heat up a little bit on a couple of the angles going into that. And right before we get into the main event segment, the name Vengeance Day, am I misremembering? Because I know that the NXT uses a lot of the old WWE pay-per-view names from like kind of the early 2000s, but wasn't it just Vengeance when it was a pay-per-view, and there was a Judgment Day pay-per-view? And I understand not using the Judgment Day pay-per-view name, obviously, because, well, it's, a faction now. But wasn't it? I thought it was just Vengeance.
And it used to be Vengeance, yeah. And even with that same singular red V, used to be the Vengeance logo. And yeah, I always thought it was a weird choice too. I preferred just Vengeance. Exactly. What a weird scratch logo too, by the way, wherever you found that Vengeance logo. But yeah, this I much preferred just Vengeance.
Right. But so the main event segment this evening was the contract signing for the NXT Women's Championship between Lila Valkyria and Roxanne Perez. Gentlemen, the contract segment is a tried and true wrestling trope. We get them quite often. And, I actually thought for a moment we were going to have a contract signing that did not end in a brawl or with someone going through the table itself.
That's always a wrestling trope. That's a classic wrestling trope with the contract signings. Also, another thing to highlight in this is that and we're going to get into it later, is that Ava Rain is actually, was, I guess you could say, supervising the contract signing, as she is now officially a general manager of NXT, which is very interesting. You know what I'm saying? Daddy got the TKO deal. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I think they've been planning this for a while. You know what I mean? So, cool. Ava Rain actually showing that she actually has some sort of, I guess you could say, managerial influence on these contract signings.
Well, and they need to work on her delivery. Like, she is still quite flat. So I think they need to really get her in an acting class or something, just so that she can emote. like her delivery, even just with announcing the competitors of the match. It was introducing now. We have the challenger. Like, I'm bored listening to her, and she's only been out there for 5 seconds.
Even when she kind of calms him down and was like, "Thank you." It's all very flat and it feels very rehearsed. It's usually like acting classes. I would also suggest improv classes. Yeah. Really learn how to live in the moment. I think a lot of the best promos in wrestling are, men and women who live in that moment and can react in the now and adapt what they're talking about to, fit the circumstance of the moment. And it felt very rehearsed, which then makes the segment itself feel a little contrived.
Yeah, like thanks.
I don't know how close she is with Roman Reigns, but whoever his guy is for fixing his promo ability is definitely the person she should be talking to.
Yeah, it worked for him.
Yeah,
exactly.
Got him away from Suffer and Succotash.
Yeah, top 5 worst SmackDown Live moments.
to be fair, though, that's definitely a Vinceism. We can't blame Roman for that one.
No, that's absolutely a Vince. That was without question a Vince. But pretty straightforward contract signing. We had Tatum Paxley come up from behind and put Roxanne Perez through the table, and Lyra got pretty mad, pushed her down. It's going to be a tough going forward for Tatum. I think she's going to have a breakdown. I don't think she's going to take this well at all, quite frankly.
Yeah, and they're still building that. I guess this is the main event NXT women's scene right now for the women's titles, and I think this is good. And I think they have a lot of more people in the back in the tuck too to insert when they need be. But I think what you see is what you get here with Roxanne Perez. They've been building her up for a while. Is this a result of the kind of like more aggressive side we've seen from Roxanne Perez? Because remember she was doing that a couple weeks ago. Kind of seems like now she's more of a baby face again. So I don't know if they were trying to have her go, how can she be a vicious heel? She looks great.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. Maybe it's just kind of weird trying to insert a vicious personality, but I think they're going more with her as like a fighting babyface / tweener. I'm not sure.
I was definitely getting pretty heel vibes from Roxanne Perez during the I've had more struggles than you have and this, that, and the other. It felt very entitled and definitely like with the darker sort of wardrobe too. I feel like it is going to result in a more solidified heel turn, if not at Vengeance Day, then shortly thereafter. But I just don't buy it. Like I saw her during that segment, and I think if they're gonna send Ava Raine to a acting class, they might as well sign up Roxanne Perez as well. Not that she was terrible, but she needs to define what it is for her character to be a heel, because whatever that was is not working. She might need some outside help.
Yeah, it really should probably just be a standard rule of thumb for wrestlers to take acting classes.
Well, you would think that they would have like acting at the performance center.
Yeah, like I mean, I don't know how their day is structured at the PC, but yeah, I would assume that like promo is a part of your day.
You're in Florida. I can't imagine it's hard to get some kind of acting coach.
Yeah, right? And in Full Sail as well too. So they got some kind of acting expertise. Like even like backstage, they could probably work with too. Just I mean, like I said, like you said too. You know, what I'm saying it should be included within the performance center training, or maybe a more emphasis on it as well with those promo classes or whatever they got to do.
Yeah,
because a lot of it. It's the thing about NXT is that a lot of it, it's good stuff. It's just the way it's executed is very kind of like. They ham it up a lot, and I don't know who's directing, kind of like where the promos or backstage segments go. We seeing like the Sopranos skits and stuff like that now too, with the multiple camera angles and stuff like that, which I'm still trying to get used to. It works. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But you know what I'm saying? That's one thing that hinders NXT from just being at one step, forward. Is just kind of like the backstage segments in the promos are a little bit little bit too scripted. You can tell they're following a script. They're doing the best they can, but it's hard to just shoot off the head when you're given so much scripting. You know what I mean? So it's kind of tough.
Yeah. And I understand, why they do script certain people. I think though that, a lot of the best promos just come from a place of improvisation. But I understand not everybody's Roddy Piper. You can't have, whoever's running the segment, you can't just walk up there and be like, here's your 3 bullet points. You have 7 minutes, go talk. Some people I think flourish under that kind of direction, but some folks do need to script. But if you are going to script somebody, it has to sound natural and it has to sound like something a human being would actually say.
Yeah. And you have to script both sides, because the worst promos that I've ever seen are ones that half the side of the promo gets to say whatever the hell they want, but if it doesn't line up well enough with the script that the other person has to follow, then you don't actually have that clean through line so that the promo makes sense.
Agreed. Yeah. Absolutely agreed. All right, gentlemen, anything else on that main event segment, or shall we hop around to the front of tonight's NXT?
Let's head to the front, unless CJ has something.
I think they were trying to rewrite history during this segment, because Roxanne mentioned that it was a title that she never lost, but that's not how it happened. What had happened was she went to Shawn Michaels' office and fought for her right to defend the title at Stand and Deliver. It was a fatal 5-way ladder match that added Roxanne Perez into the match. That was a 6th. So it sounded like on paper that it was a title defense, and that's where she lost to Indy Hartwell.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you're right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I hear you.
They're trying to pull a little bit of a retcon here.
Yeah,
and that's what she said, right? Like that she didn't actually lose the title.
Yeah, and you know what? You were saying that she was leaning more heel during that promo. That would be a heel thing. Like that might be an intentional thing she's doing. Like, well, I'm going to just kind of blatantly lie here, just because that's what a heel does. Because I'm trying to remember who said it, but it was somebody said it of Bobby Heenan. That, with a really great heel promo, you can tell 9 things that are the truth, but that one lie derails the entire thing and shows what a scumbag you are. So maybe it was that kind of mentality with it.
Could be. We'll see.
I hear both sides.
All right. So tonight's show opened up with quite a bang, I would say. We opened with Team Bron taking on Axiom and Nathan Frazier, and Bron picked up the win in just a little over 12 minutes. Guys, this was a fantastic match, if I do say so.
You know what I'm going to say is that I've seen a formula here. Anytime we have an NXT show and we have to review an NXT match that has Nathan Frazier in it, it's going to be a banger. I followed him a long time ago. I forgot his actual government name is what we call it. I believe it was Ben or something. It was Ben something. I forgot his actual name, but he's been training for years, and now he's finally getting an opportunity in NXT to shine. And this is a great investment for NXT. I think he gets it. Even though he's so young, a little bit on the smaller side, but he uses his athleticism to his to his benefit. And on top of that, I was gonna say Axiom. I forgot who he was before. Y'all can maybe bring. That was a kid. Yeah. The guy who brought the Heritage Cup over, I think. And
the first Heritage Cup champion.
And he's doing great too. And we were a little bit on the side when we saw Bron Breakker and Baron Corbin get together, but it turns out, they can have some good matches. And I always like Bron Breakker. Baron Corbin it's hit or miss for me. He just has an unfortunate build and look. I think he's locked in to be a heel, and work that style. But when he goes, he can go. Yeah. And he was the lone wolf, NXT. He had the countdown gimmick, and he was very over in NXT when they first started. And, I give it up to Bron and Baron for honestly not having anything to do, getting together and making this team work. Because at the end of the day, they don't have anything to do. And this is a good team. So if they want to go on as being like, we're both assholes, but we can both kick it, that's cool. That's cool because guess what? They gave us a great match, great opening match, and a crowd was into it. Won the crowd over. They were very over, and I like how it went. I love the finish, by the way. Very finish spam heavy finish to where one person gets hit, and Bron comes in with the spear, and the spear looked great. 1, 2, 3. So can't wait to see who they might beat in the finals. I don't know.
Well, and Axiom and Fraser, those are the kind of guys you want in there with a Braun Breaker and a Baron Corbin. Those are power wrestlers. You need guys that can sell and just bounce around like they're covered in rubber. And that's what they did. They sold their asses off for them. And that spot where Fraser went for the springboard and Breaker caught him.
That whole backflip.
Oh my God, this whole match, I audibly, I think I may have shouted Jiminy Cricket. I shout weird shit watching wrestling. The kids were in the room. That was the thing. I gotta watch my mouth a little bit.
Gotta clean it up, man.
But they kind of jumped a little bit when I said that. I'm like, you gotta see this spot. This is amazing. How are you guys not more enthralled with this?
Yeah.
Gotta keep it clean. So a lot of oh fudge and gee damn it, a lot of that. So.
That's why I wear headphones. Nobody can hear me or nobody can hear what's going on except for the people can hear me. So
right.
Hey, don't let them watch USA after NXT goes off because man, they are going. The censors don't care anymore, man. They're saying everything.
I'm sure.
Well, and it's SmackDown moving to USA, so
yeah. And again, I know this is NXT talk, but big news of the day: Raw moving to Netflix January next year. So this is interesting times that we live in, gentlemen. And of course, NXT moving to the CW network. Is that in October? Is it this October?
Yeah.
Is it okay? Yeah. So.
Yeah, it was, I believe, SmackDown moving to USA in September, NXT moving to the CW in October, and Raw moving to Netflix in January. And if you want to talk about the Netflix implications on a global scale and what that means for Canada, I'm happy to have that conversation too.
Well, I mean, you guys are getting a pretty sweet deal out of it, I think.
Well, exactly. It's essentially our Peacock. So what we'd had before with Sportsnet, and we were kind of talking a little bit about this before we went live, I think. With Sportsnet, we get NXT, SmackDown, Raw on a weekly basis. We get the premium live events, but we don't have access to the original documentaries. We get access to some episodes of 24, I think. And then we get a couple WrestleManias, a couple Royal Rumbles here and there. Nothing like Peacock. I still haven't been able to watch the Cody Rhodes documentary or the Kurt Angle documentary, but with this Netflix deal, it essentially opens up that repository again. Whereas before I had to VPN the WWE network from the UK, they closed that loophole. So I essentially had to downgrade massively. But even with the WWE Network, we didn't get Raw, SmackDown, NXT on a weekly basis.
Right.
That was still a 30-day post-air upload.
I'm pretty sure that's still how it is on Peacock for us as well.
Which is dumb.
Yeah. It's like especially considering that these things air. Oh. But we'll refocus here. Let's hop back here. Was there anything else on the opening match tonight? As wrestling torrents come up, I can't remember the last time I torrented anything. Not that I ever have. FBI.
Yeah, that would be a funny joke.
Piracy is no laughing matter. Don't do it.
No, I thought the opening match was dope. I thought it was dope. I thought it was good showing too for Bron and Corbin as well.
Yes, very much so. I'm still invested in Bron Breaker and Baron Corbin as a tag team. As weird as that still fears to say. I'm noting individual investment. Like, I'm invested in both of them individually as well as a team.
I'm not calling them the Warcocks. We've discussed this. I'm not calling them the Warcocks, and I'm not calling Randy Orton Daddy. He is a wrestling fan.
T-shirts coming soon, man. T-shirts coming soon. We'll we can air mail.
Hey, they had that Vince loves cock shirt that they made back in the day that had
from DX back in like 07.
Yeah, so it wouldn't be the first time that they've done something like this, but no, it was a great opening bout. So from there we moved on to a backstage segment. Ilya Dragunov was hanging out talking to someone, and was approached by Josh Briggs, and they had a little run in there, and then Trick popped up and kind of broke it up. Gentlemen, what did you think of this segment?
You know what I thought? I was like, man, we don't see a lot of Ilya Dragunov a lot. Well, I guess we do, but like, I just feel like his presence isn't really kind of like there. And they have to fit so many storylines of people in on the show. But it's good to see him when he pops up. He has that aura of a champion. Josh Briggs, they seem like they're building up Josh Briggs big. They split him from his faction. They got an alleged endorsement from JBL. They got JBL to come in, when he was swinging through. And they're trying to push him as a big man. That's the NXT's big man or whatever. So I'm interested to see what they do with Josh Briggs. Hasn't really done anything crazy to stand out. I like his work, but I'm pretty sure they're going to try to insert him in the NXT title picture maybe after Vengeance Day. We'll see how that goes.
Okay. I could definitely.
Not a big fan of his recent character change, but I'll talk more about that as we get into talking about the match itself. But I mean, I just want to see them kind of focus on telling these stories more individually, especially Ilya Dragunov and Trick Williams. I feel like that in itself, there's no reason to get other people tangled up in it. Just kind of clouds everything up and just kind of gums up the works. I know it's just to get us to Vengeance Day, so I'm not going to complain too much, but I
understand completely what you mean. They're kind of having to artificially fluff out the storyline in ways they don't really need to, but it's because of the time gap they have to fill between this and forgot the name of the show that takes place near Mania. Their PLE after Vengeance Day.
Stand and Deliver.
Stand and Deliver, yeah. Because really, I feel like Vengeance Day is just kind of. It's almost like maybe they shouldn't have had Vengeance Day. They could have maybe done without the show. Just like kind of, there wasn't anything, really for December, leading up to the Rumble for the main roster. So maybe something like that, where it's just a bigger gap, just a bigger time to build.
Well, and I think it's kind of that bumper pay-per-view that Elimination Chamber is for between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. And I'm not trying to say that they're going to treat Elimination Chamber like a bumper pay-per-view, but it's just kind of that no, it's just kind of that, okay, pump your brakes, let's slow down a second, and then once we clear here, okay, straight through to WrestleMania. I think Vengeance Day is that sort of, okay, let's hit the brakes a little bit, and then once we're clear here, full straight through to Stand and Deliver.
Right. but yeah, just a quick segment set up, like we said, set up the match for Trick and Briggs later in the evening. We saw a quick segment with Ren Sinclair backstage, giving herself a little pep talk before her first singles match tonight. And she was approached by Fallon Henley. So, one thing I like about the booking mentality of both Shawn and Triple H is that, one, they like factions, but not everybody's in a faction. But people that aren't in factions still have friends.
Yeah.
Like that's one thing for years on the main roster. One of my biggest critiques was that your lead baby faces never had friends. It's like John Cena would be getting the crap kicked out of him by the Nexus, and it's like, really, nobody's going to help. There's nobody back there that likes you enough. No, come on. Right, like it would just make sense that like wrestlers would have friends, backstage, even if you're not in a faction. Like, people tend to form cliques, if you will. Hunter, Sean, cliques. These are the jokes, guys. Yeah, but yeah, so I like that they book that way, where it's like people can have these associations and these kind of loose friendships without actually having to be in a like named faction. But just that, and it's another segment that had Fallon in, because I feel like they got to get Fallon in a few segments every show, because they are really they're putting fuel behind her.
I think she deserves better than Ren Sinclair, though. Like when she's rattling off, I'm trying. You're trying my fucking patience at this point. Like I could
I agree.
not,
I agree,
for the
man.
life of me, stand her character.
I agree.
It got so tired after 30 seconds, and I'm just like, you got it. Same thing as where was the other one here? The one that they've got backstage with No Fame and Blade, Bryn Active. Like and it's not because like it's nothing to do with them personally. They're fine, but it's just these gimmicks. I don't it could just be that I don't understand them, but I don't understand them, and I hate what I don't understand.
and that
I'm
is
adult enough to admit it.
that is understandable.
I hear you say. I agree with you, man. I'm sorry, Tyler. I was gonna say, man, I agree with you, CJ. I know what you mean, because I'm a big anime fan. I'm a fan of anime, and I hate animes that have the main character, and the main characters are bitches. You know what I mean? Like they're scared, they're fragile. And if I'm a fan and I want to invest in somebody like a baby face, you know what I'm saying? I want to get behind somebody like, like a Hulk Hogan, like, whoa, yeah, eat your vitamins, the character, not the guy. I'm just talking, somebody that's like exudes confidence or something like that. If this is your first outing or showing in an NXT show, then why would I be investing in somebody that's scared as hell to go out there? I know there's people hungrier than you, waiting to make their debut. So why would I, I just don't like that scared timid. Like, you're a grown woman, go out there, you know what I'm saying? You have your first match. It's just, that's a little tired trope that I'm not a fan of. It's just, oh my God, it's scared to have a match.
That
yeah,
really,
exactly. Like, why are you training?
That never really occurred to me. Like that makes complete sense. Why would you be afraid to go out there? Like, this is your career, this is your job, this is your chosen vocation, your calling in life, and you're afraid to do it. Like, now every once in a while, if that's going to be your gimmick, that needs to be your gimmick. Like back when ECW was on Sci-Fi, there they had, what was that guy, Colin Delaney. That was his whole gimmick. That like he was just got the hell kicked out of him, and he was terrified to go out there, but he kept doing it. Damn it. But so if it's going to be your gimmick, it's going to be your gimmick. But that's a good point. Like, you don't want to get behind a baby face that's afraid to go out there and actually fight. Could you imagine? Could you imagine a UFC fighter doing that before a fight?
Oh, all their contracts and sponsorships getting dropped night of,
right?
Yeah. Dana White would escort them out the building, bro. If that happened, like, we don't want anybody
done.
You know what I'm saying? Cause so you got a Colin Delaney shout in the comments. He said Colin Delaney was so underrated, wrestling abilities asset to his character. So
yeah, he was one of the really bright spots of a relatively dim ECW on Sci-Fi.
Yeah,
you're not wrong. Yeah, like to this day, I still remember him fighting Armando Estrada for his contract, and not many other moments you can say about even Raw or SmackDown in the last 5 or 6 years. I remember this random ass episode of ECW from 2007. What the hell?
Right? And there were a few good moments in that, and there were some utterly embarrassing things. We've I believe at some point possibly discussed before the whole Wildcat Chris Harris brief run there as knock knock, who's there? Braden Walker. One of the worst gimmicks ever in the history of, well, how old's the universe? Like, we're about 14 billion years, somewhere in there. So awful,
give or take.
Yeah,
give or take.
Give or take. Carry
but
the one.
also it gave us Kofi Kingston,
Mhm.
Jack Swagger, which, as I say, it probably not the best example, but it gave us, Sheamus, definitely. So it did, and actually, Kofi Kingston in particular, I was reading something about how it was 16 years to the day recently that he debuted in ECW.
And I remember the vignettes leading up the Trouble in Paradise vignettes they did.
In Paradise. Sorry, Soup. I didn't know if I was allowed to make that voice, but
no, you're good. I was about to say he doesn't do that anymore. I don't do that anymore. Remember talking to CM Punk? That was great.
I remember the week he dropped the X, and it was leading up to Survivor Series. He was on Team DX, and he said something when they were all in the ring, and Hunter just turns to him. He's like, "Wait a minute, weren't you Jamaican like 2 weeks ago?" Yeah. Oh, yeah. It gave us Kevin Thorne.
That was fantastic.
We had to bring up Kevin Thorne. Yeah.
That's a name I have not even remotely thought about in God knows how long.
Right. Undertaker creepy gimmick attempt number 36.
Yep. Monty Brown. Monty Brown was on there for a little bit. Like,
Marcus Corvon.
Marcus Corvon.
I love this theme. That was a great theme song.
His theme is still one of my absolute favorites.
That's that's probably like top 30, 20 for me. That's so great. Didn't fit him at all.
Speaking of banger themes from ECW, the rendition of "Just Close Your Eyes" that Story of the Year did for Christian was top notch. I still like a lot of respect for the Waterproof Blonde version, but that remix version was excellent. Or cover version, sorry.
I feel like I keep pulling us off the track tonight. I do apologize. we're gonna, you know what? Maybe in the future we can do we'll do a dirt shit.
I feel bad because he really wants to know what we think, and I want to tell him.
I mean,
Andre,
me being the SmackDown guy, I'd be happy to talk about it.
Yeah. CJ, you are on the SmackDown show. What are your feelings on this? Because
quick thoughts.
Finn Balor.
Well, I mean, like when he was on Raw and just starting out, he was still very uncomfortable. Like wrestling wasn't his sport, football was. So for him, it took a little while to get comfortable, and then all of a sudden he's back at the helm alone. Well, not alone, but he doesn't have the support of Michael Cole on SmackDown and being told it's sink or swim. I think he had grown more comfortable in the role as time went on, but it's still, I think, in WWE's best interest to find a commentator that's going to be able to fit that role. And unfortunately for us, their best option right now is Vic Joseph.
I think so too.
Guaranteed. If you want someone that is just going to be able to slide right into that role, he's going to have no problem doing that.
What's Mauro Ranallo doing right
now?
That's safely protecting his
loaded
mental health far away from professional wrestling.
Yeah, I think it was just a little bit.
But you think this is a new WWE. It's a different environment now.
I think it's more than just, WWE. I think after a while, you just start to realize, maybe wrestling isn't, maybe I can just like it from outside. You don't want to hate it. The guy loved wrestling before he joined WWE. I imagine that soured him on it a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, part of it was probably the weekly constant traveling schedule, which was why he went from SmackDown to NXT. So at least he was based somewhere. But I think it was just the regular weekly constant grind that got him down. Feel free to correct me. I'm not trying to jump in here.
There was a lot more than that. But I'm saying that stuff too. That stuff. You figure I don't want to go back to that shit as well.
I get it.
No, I would definitely not want to go back to a job that was that detrimental to my mental health either.
Yeah. Finn Balor.
I do feel bad. I feel bad for Kevin Patrick. I want to say because he tried. Like he was trying.
He was trying, wasn't he?
Like what was that guy who came in? Jimmy Smith. The dude from
that was
UFC.
Yeah, that was.
He didn't. He felt like he was better than this. Like I don't need this shit. Kevin Patrick was trying. He just really sucked.
And
Like,
I'm sure Michael Cole
Well,
put
and
him
he's a
aside and
worse
they practiced
He
on
wasn't
tape.
that bad.
No, he was really bad. I'm sorry. It's not
wasn't
just
that
like
bad.
it's not
he
it's not
wasn't
like it's not like Mike Adamley, you know. It's
That's
like
what I was gonna say. Mike Adamley was
yeah.
god
Oh, God.
awful.
Wow.
But he had like issues that he didn't know about, right? Like he had like actual things
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah, so
Jeff
that's the
Hardy.
thing. Like we all gave him so much shit for so long, and then that all came out that he was suffering some like
Yeah.
Neurological.
issues. So
Yeah.
now it's just like, well, we kind of have to be like, okay, now we can't really say it.
Dial
But,
it back.
No,
it
I
does-
feel bad about some things I wrote online.
same. I there are some tweets that I can't take back. Mike, I'm sorry for that. But it's unfortunate the way it happened, but it doesn't change the fact that he was still not very well suited for the job.
No. And I think it might have just been the same thing as Adnan Verk and Kevin Patrick. They work better in the sports that they come from, you know. Kevin Patrick calling football is great. Kevin Patrick calling wrestling, not so great. Michael Cole calling wrestling, legendary. Michael Cole calling football, who knows? You know, maybe he could adapt, but he definitely wouldn't be being able to adapt as quickly as they've expected Kevin Patrick to adapt to calling wrestling.
They threw him to the wolves, and then they were like, "Now you lead the show. This is what we pay you for." Oh shit!
Exactly.
I'm sorry. What did I do wrong? Nothing. You got 3 minutes to figure it out. Oh shit! You're fired.
Essentially.
What happened?
Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
It happened in the middle of the night. It came from some random dude, some author I never heard of in my life. Kevin Patrick got fired. Who told you?
God, you can figure it out. You can figure out how to lead a national syndicated broadcast.
It's the guy that lives in the apartment next to him. He heard him crying and yelling in the middle of the night. Like,
fucking guy couldn't figure it out. We put him out there on live television without any formal training, and he couldn't get it. What the fuck is wrong with him, loser? No, let's get out. I'll get out of your way though.
We should get back on track here, but just another quick side note before. Can we throw up a picture of? Do we have a picture of Ren Sinclair's gear?
Oh, yes, I want to talk about this.
Well, she got some blue jean action.
I'll look for it. You guys stall for like 1 minute.
Okay, so I actually meant to bring this up as well, CJ. So the fiance was in the room when she was making her entrance, and she turned and saw her and just looks at me and says, "Wow, that's really 90s." And that's the best way to describe it. This was like the most like denim on denim on denim.
The Canadian tuxedo. You know what I mean?
And I was going to make that comparison. It's the female equivalent of the Canadian tuxedo, but I'm pretty sure this is called the Canadian bikini.
There we go. The Canadian bikini variation.
Yeah. It's
like that's.
It's bad.
And like half torn legging for some reason.
Other photos I found were a little bit. They would make us look like perverts. So I found this one.
This is a really good illustration. Oh my God, there's even a fake belt on it. This is awful. The more I look at it, the worse it is. Because it's like she took blue jeans, tore them apart, and then reconstructed them into some sort of halter top.
Why do you want denim wrapped around your neck?
I think she thinks this is good. Like, this might be like innovative. Maybe I don't know enough about fashion, but it's got the belt loop. Like, that makes it look so tacky around the neck. It literally looks like she's wearing torn up pants. I don't know.
Literally, there was a point in the match where like all you can see of the pant leg is what eighth of the leg it's covering all the way down, and it's still got holes in that. Like, just wear shorts.
Yeah. In the comments, Jane Constant there nails the name, fails the fit. I agree completely. Like, Ren Sinclair is a really great name, but that is a terrible set of gear. Also, her music wasn't good either. Her music just sounded like really generic, like music you would hear in a nightclub on like a sitcom. Like
I've already forgotten it.
All of the NXT music, all of the new NXT music is just terrible. Trick Williams, it's either like Trick Williams, like top 10 NXT themes of all time, and then like everything else is just terrible. like 2 chords on the guitar.
Lexus King's got a good theme.
Yeah,
Lexus King, and you can tell from who they invest in, that's who's going to get the theme songs that stick. Back in the day, you had theme songs that stuck. Like I said before, I remember Eugene's theme, and that was fucking Eugene. You know what I mean?
D'Lo Brown's theme.
Come on. And that was like lower mid-card. I remember
Marcus Corvon.
Marcus Los Bariquas.
We're talking about a Steve Blackman. But these are all.
Oh my God!
Come on, and these are like lower mid card.
I'd like to start a petition to take Def Rebel to the 1600s and then accuse them of being witches. Because I hate.
There we go.
I am not a fan of anything that they've done. I can't think of a single. If they made the Gunther theme, that one, then I like that one. That might be the only current day brand new replacement WWE theme that I like from them. I hate them. I want them to be fired. This new WWE needs a new in-house music producer, and they've got enough money to hire, like, I don't know, somebody. They got enough money to hire people who are like on the radio right now.
Or they got enough money they could hire Jim Johnston back.
I don't think they like each other anymore.
Oh, really?
Well, and that's what I mean. Like, he would request
something.
a huge amount, and they'd pay it if they wanted him.
Fun. I used to think it was DMX for a year. When I was a kid, I thought it was DMX. I thought Billy Kidman's theme was done by DMX. I couldn't tell the difference. We need more rip-off themes.
Yeah, we do. But so we should get that back on track here, gentlemen.
Yes.
So yes, we had. We'll talk. Pop on that real quick. I don't know if I have my notes out of order here, but yes, William Regal made a surprise appearance on NXT television. Always wonderful to see William Regal. They're talking to and giving some encouragement to Ava Raine, the new general manager of NXT. Always nice to see Willie out there.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. This might be a one and done for
Phrasing.
him, because nice. I think
family show.
His family show, guys. PG, keep it PG. William Regal, I think this might be a one and done for him. I'm not sure. It's very surreal to see him coming off, because his last appearance was NXT now. So it's cool to finally see him in effect. He passing the torch to Ava, and this is where Ava gave the line like, "Wow, William Regal, I'm so excited to be the new GM of NXT." That's she got to work on that. Yeah. I'm sorry, Ava. It's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of big shoes to fill. Figuratively and literally, but got to step it up on that. But cool to see William.
Yeah, she's a long way from showing war games, but she'll get there.
Yeah.
They noted on commentary she is the youngest GM in WWE history at 22.
Wow,
Nice.
22. Like we thought Obafemi was. Apparently Obafemi's 25, by the way. Little correction from last week. Apparently that came from his mother, according to...
Yeah, I saw that correction on Instagram.
I saw that too. Oh, no, yeah. But still impressive. Still very impressive.
Still insane.
Oh, absolutely.
But our next match on the card, we had Lash Legend taking on the fantastically named but poorly dressed Ren Sinclair. And Lash picked up the win here in 2 minutes and 58 seconds with a choke slam. I thought that's pretty much how this was going to go. Lash needs to pick up a couple wins here. I feel like she hasn't really done a whole lot since the Otis spot. So they need to get some heat back on her.
Yeah, this is good to get heat back on Lash. Not really good to set up Ren as like, oh, I'm scared of shit, and then get your ass beat. So that's not really a good look for her. It is what it is. I know she was a new signing from, I believe she worked a couple NXT dark shows.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry. AEW dark shows. And now she's back. She's kind of over here now, but I guess we'll have to see, where they go with Ren. I don't know where they would fit her in at, but yeah, let's build up some more wins for Lash Legend. And are y'all a fan of the Metaphor faction? I don't get it.
So it's kind of funny you say that. So like I said, the family was in and out of the living room pretty much throughout NXT this evening. And the 15-year-old, she asked as they were making their entrance, she has turned to me, she just says, "What is going on right now?" And it's like, and I'm like, I don't have a great way to explain Metaphor's entrance or really kind of their overall connection to one another. I enjoy the characters individually. But I will say I kind of don't really understand how exactly they all fit together. But I mean, it's hard not to like Noam Dar doing whatever Noam Dar does. Noam Dar does no wrong. It's a shame that Alicia Fox isn't around, though.
Alicia Fox.
Alicia Fox.
What was that about? But yeah, shout out to Lash Legend though, man. I hope big things come for her. Hopefully, she's a surprise entrant to the Royal Rumble.
And how tall?
Oh, go ahead.
How tall is she? Because like she looks tall.
I can find out.
She looks 6 even, man. You know what I mean?
Like she's big. Like I wasn't sure. I don't know if sometimes I never know if it's like if someone else is short or if someone else is tall. Like if it's both of those things.
And also, I want to say real quick, 5 seconds. 5 seconds.
I'm saying 6 even.
Seconds. Oh, I guessed it. I have an eye for the height. I don't know what it is, but look, Royal Rumble. I'm so happy. I'm so glad. I know we're all over the fucking place tonight. Royal Rumble. I'm so glad that they're hiding the entrance. The biggest gripe with me last year is that they said everybody who was going to be in the Royal Rumble. Now this year they're leaving it open. We better get at least 10 NXT entrance, because how many times are going to bring back Michelle McCool? You know, so we have plenty of NXT stars to actually put into the Royal Rumble to get eyes on the product. So I hope Lash Legend is going to be one of those.
We just got to convince Undertaker to get her to have more kids, so like that will keep her out of the ring. Michelle, I want more children. My army of darkness must grow. I feel like he was the Undertaker for so long. He has to talk like that at home from time to time. Like, he
has to stick
with
you.
That's the only way his kids will listen to him.
Oh, right? He's rolling his eyes back. You better clean. You better pick up my fucking
clean your room.
That fucking Wendy's. Let me get to number 5. No pick. Oh shit! It's Undertaker. He's here. I told you.
You forgot the hot sauce.
Oh. Wow! I picked the right day to come into work.
On ice. Yeah. See, no one wants Michelle McCool around. Sorry, Michelle. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That is a fair point. There is enough talent on this roster that they don't need to reach outside. Now they always do like 1 or 2, returns, and I'm sure we'll have some NXT folks popping up onto the roster there. But
I can't wait.
I think a decent chunk more in the women's Rumble is going to be a lot more than the NXT superstars in the men's Rumble, just because the depth of the men's roster on Raw and SmackDown is a lot thicker, so they don't have to call up as many as the women would.
Right.
But I mean, they've got quite the crop to choose from. So, who do we think is Rumble bound
from NXT? From NXT, I guess I'll give you my.
Let's say 2. Let's say 2.
2 from NXT. Lexis King and Carmelo Hayes.
And for the women,
Lash Legend and Fallon Henley.
Nice.
Those are my guesses.
I was gonna say Tiffany Stratton and Lash Legend.
Oh, Tiffany Stratton, yeah,
solid choice as well.
I think Stratton's main roster bound, so
that too. Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
James
and who's your pick for the men, Tyler?
I like Lexis King, and I mean Mello. I mean, because Mello's been on SmackDown so much lately, but at that point, I don't know if that's really a surprise NXT entrant. But
kind of like surprise and a half.
Yeah.
I would say for the men, I would want to say Ilya Dragunov and Trick Williams. The 2 biggest male stars right now. As far as the women goes, I would love to see Lyra Valkyria and Tiffany Stratton.
A lot of Stratton love. Stratton getting a lot of love. James says Stratton.
Yep, Stratton and Perez. They are putting a lot behind Perez. I could absolutely see her being dropped in there as well. But
she was in last year's though, wasn't she?
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So not quite as surprising again.
A little touch of the main roster, keep her on the thoughts of folks up there. But
exactly.
on the show we had Elektra Lopez very angrily walking in backstage, very angrily, and I would say very gratuitously in some regards. That was almost raised the rating of TV 14. I feel.
Yeah. One of the instances where sorry if y'all can't hear me. One of the instances where I feel like the backstage segment actually shined. I think she does a great job of actually portraying somebody that you don't want to fuck with, you know what I'm saying? And
She
get to the
seemed
bottom of
pissed.
things.
I believe she was pissed. Like
for real. So I give her props for that, for sure, for the night. I think she has some of the best mic work in NXT right now.
Well, and specifically in that promo, it was very reminiscent of that Roman Reigns John Cena promo heading into No Mercy back in the day. And was it just me, or did did why can't I find her name? Lola Vice. Did it look like she was sucking on a lemon for half that promo? Like she just had like permanent duck lips.
Yeah, she was pissed. That's what happened. She was clicking her lipstick and she was smacking her lips together. Yeah, she's angry. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of Latina girls hold that. You know, when they're mad. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's part of my research I noticed. But yeah, I think that's what it is. She's just fucking pissed, and that's good. It was a good job for her conveying that too. You know what I mean? So, like I said, I think it's good. I didn't know that the little on the battle royal, her spilling out Electra Lopez or vice versa. I'm sorry. I didn't know it was going to devolve into a whole feud. I thought it was just kind of like a
I thought they would be friends again this week. Honestly, I didn't realize it was going to be this serious.
Yeah, it's a whole program. They
had I figured once they started brawling on the outside, that was going to be that was the kind of the signal for me that it was over and done with. Like if they would have just been like, oh well, we tried it and we're going to keep working together. I feel like they wouldn't have had to try and fight it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed. So up next, we were to have Joe Gacy taking on Dijak, but this was just a straight brawl from the entrance. Fantastic brawl, honestly.
Yeah,
thought it was a lot of fun. Brawl to a no contest. This seems to be how things are going for Dijak now. This is how his feuds just kind of go. It's just a wild brawl and then some sort of stipulation match due to the brawl. So I'm sure that's where they will be heading with this. But it was a fun brawl, though. Good time. Playful romp.
A playful romp, indeed.
Playful romp.
I wasn't expecting Joe Gacy to come out looking like Trevor Murdoch.
Whoa, some Murdoch action. You got some Murdoch action. Right
that, like that leather vest and the short black trunks. And if his beard was longer, I wouldn't be able to, and other than the fact that Trevor Murdoch and Joe Gacy physically look different, I wouldn't be able to tell them apart.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, it was he's going through things right now. He's finding himself as a character here. He's working on it, but it's working though. It's doing good for him. So pretty solid segment there. We talked about this actually a little before we came on air, but a couple of quick backstage segments that really didn't seem to have a lot to do with each other. Were pretty disjointed. Had a quick shot of Ariana Grace backstage giving an acceptance speech to no one. Had a quick run-in with Perez when she was looking for Lola. And then one that I actually liked quite a bit, Lexis King just walking through the back hallway there, talking to the camera and plugging his match, which was coming up next. I like that. Gave him a little extra character work he was able to do. And, reminded everyone what match was coming up next. And he came across as very confident and arrogant. And I think he's doing a great job with this character.
Yeah, me too. I think
absolutely.
I think, like I said, this is a great look for Lexis King. Huge character development. I watched this Chris Van Vliet interview, and he came a long way. So I'm glad Lexis King is actually getting some mic time. They're trying to fit in some mic time from him as well each week as well too. So hopefully he can shine on a mic and maybe develop a catchphrase or something that can get him even more connection to the crowd.
Well, and I mean, he's got a stellar character and great in-ring work. So I think it's just, and it's over with the crowd. So I think it's just a matter of, do we take the risk of putting some responsibility on him and see how he handles that?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't really know. I feel like his next couple programs are going to not be for any sort of titles, just because I don't know if I want to see him put into a program with Oba Femi, because I don't think he should win a program with Oba Femi. Oba needs to keep that strap for a while.
Yeah.
And I don't see him winning. I guess you could have him in the challenging bracket for the world title, but I don't know if he's really ready for that level of the card yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not at this point in the year. I think after Stand and Deliver, they could definitely look at something, but not right now. No.
Yeah, and WWE's not going to go with the heel versus heel dynamic. You know what I mean? Maybe if
that's true.
Maybe if Obafemi was somehow a babyface, which I don't think they're not going in that direction. So maybe something after Vengeance Day. I'll say Lexis King has a good run or a good chance at winning the NXT North American title. Because he does need to be in the title picture. Can this work without a title? I don't know, but it would definitely get him way more over if he had a title with him, and that's going to show a lot of people like, oh yeah, he did change. This name change, this character change did work. It was successful. So I think that's where they're going with Lexis too.
Yeah. I like what they're doing, and but this led into Lexis King taking on Trey Bearhill. King picked up the victory in 2 minutes and 31 seconds. Guys, I gotta say, if this is the quality of in-ring work we're going to see from Trey Bearhill, I don't know how well things are going to go for Trey Bearhill.
No TV entrance.
Lots of screaming.
Like that was this. What was up with the screaming? What was that? Who did that? Was that that tag team, the Ascension? Didn't they scream a lot during their matches?
I remember the Ascension. Yeah.
I don't remember the first thing about them other than Victor and whatever the other name was.
I loved the Ascension on NXT, but
on NXT
because of the Full Sail crowd. That Full Sail crowd used to really take shitters and make them look like stars. They used to. You said they used to scream. They used to do the "yah" thing, "yah," and the crowd would do it with them. So it was cool as fuck. This doesn't sound like that. This doesn't sound anything close to that.
This I don't know how long he's going to be around here. It's not looking great for Trey Bearhill at the moment.
I'm not. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what you could do either. I mean, it's just the actual presentation is a little off for me. The screaming, it's not getting me excited. The in-ring work, it's okay for a big guy. It's a little sloppy, but I'm not in there with them. But I don't know. It's just a lot. It's just one thing. I'll be like, let's see what he does next week, and hopefully he can improve. 1 minute puppy potty break. I'll be right back.
Right on.
Did they quietly distance his association with Eddie Thorpe?
Yeah, they didn't mention it at all tonight.
Well, and Eddie was nowhere to be seen. You'd have thought 1 week after them saying, hey, let's form a partnership, that he'd have come out for his match, and no sign of him.
Maybe someone pointed out to them that it was a bad look to link up the two Native American characters.
That very well could be.
Or maybe they couldn't get to Tonka, so they're like, fuck it, we're not going to do the angle.
Yeah, and that's all, unfortunately, also a very valid possibility.
Or somebody, I can imagine someone's having that conversation with Sean. Like, it's Hunter. It says, Sean, we have an HR now. We can't do this. Why not, Hunter? It's my show.
It's like that Simpsons meme where it's like, get me Chief J Strongbow. And it's like, I keep telling you he's 84 and he's dead.
Right, exactly. He's dead, Sean. But so moving on through the show, we had the Supernova Sessions with guest Lola Vice. This led into a confrontation. But CJ, what'd you think of the segment here?
All I wrote down was cringe. Like, I didn't like that whole 90 seconds or whatever it was of Noam and Menza standing and staring at the camera. It was weird. It was, like, that's just already giving me PTSD. Take that image down, John. But at least it confirmed the Heritage Cup match between Noam and Von Wagner, which, are we going to talk about that segment at the stadium?
When did my notes are a little mixed up here. Have we passed that yet, or did that happen a little bit later?
I think they did that leading into Lexis King and Trey Bearhill.
Okay, then yeah, well, let's talk about that real quick. Yeah, they had a fun segment with Von Wagner training for the Heritage Cup match, which I believe will take place next week. Is that right, or is that going to be at the pay-per-view?
I believe so. I think that's what they were saying at the end of the night was that one.
Yeah, so
So that was such
You
a
threw that comment on
I
there.
didn't know it was so long. I'm so sorry. They liked
It was
NXT
on
a
there
lot.
for like a second and a half.
I like that you liked NXT so much, MP. I'm sorry, we couldn't get your whole comment up.
it just dotted there at the end.
Who dropped that big ass paragraph? What is that? What a great show, spectacular! Damn. I wonder what will be next for Andre Chase, specifically Bron and Corbin are growing on me, not to mention the hot new addition of OTM and OMG, Lola Vice and Lopez, so smexy. And get this, the culmination of heat between Mello and Trick is going to be intense. Oh, yeah, man. Damn, dude. Hey, shout out to MP Sicko. Sorry, guys, I was busy, man. We got to work on the portion sizes, bro. Dog tore my floor up. Dude, I got to work on the portion size. We're trying to figure out the right amount for the puppy food right now. He's on wet food, but anyway. Yeah, man.
But yeah, we're talking about the Von Wagner segment of him training at the football field.
And see, that's the thing. And I think that's a great. I'm gonna turn the light on in a second, but I think Von Wagner has something good. Von Wagner can be that guy that is so awkward that he could be that much entertaining. He could be potentially comedy. Like, if you want to go the comedy route, you could do that. If you want to do the big man route, you could do that too, but not focus on the comedy. I feel like it could work. I just got to see his in-ring work. It's been a while. I think since October we started the show, I don't think we've seen him in the ring.
Nope.
I think his last match was against Bron Breakker, right?
Yeah, so it's a slow build right now. It's a slow build. I wonder, hold on. Is this it? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so hopefully we get him in the ring soon. Because I think he has a great character.
Yeah. I agree, absolutely. But it was a fun segment, very 80s montage, training segment. It was a lot of fun though. Got the kids in there. His interaction with the twins is fantastic. Like, it's still a shame though that we never got to see him fighting the school children for them.
Yeah, it sucks.
I mean, I think I just have to give up and accept that we're never going to see Von Wagner fight those school children.
I agree. It's never going to happen, and it's a real shame. It's one of the biggest misses professional wrestling.
Biggest what ifs in wrestling.
Yeah,
one of my personal favorite running gags here on the NXT Rewind too.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll always keep it alive. It will never die. I'm so sorry.
The Constable Corbin of the night is definitely my all-time favorite running joke. Don't get me wrong.
And we're gonna keep it going. And it would be nice to see Bron at
the Rumble. That'd be a solid pick too.
Our new dog just started growling in a sock under the table, so I apologize. This is Molly Holly.
Molly Holly,
yeah,
nice.
Yeah, we rescued her this past week. She's super sweet. She's kind of a little skittish, but she loves the other dogs. But the cats confuse her greatly. But yeah, she came with the name Holly, but I worked Molly into it. It rhymes anyway, so she's responding to it. Thank you, Jane. Yes, she's very, very sweet. She's a little underweight.
Oh, she's looking at
so that means even for a Chihuahua, she's only 4.7 pounds. CJ, I'm sorry, I don't know what that is in kilograms.
It's okay. Right. I can do the math in my head.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. It's a lot of 8 balls.
8 balls. Say, man. Hey, what kind of?
Don't listen to him.
I mean, hey, you're the boss. You say whatever you want on air, but
don't listen to him.
You guys don't like billiards?
There you go.
Yes, that was definitely what you were talking about.
Yeah, doesn't like pool,
But I digress. Yeah. Sorry, we have been all over the place tonight, gentlemen. But we'll move on to what I'm sure was Soup's favorite segment of the night, Chase U. But you should love it because Chase U they're falling apart. Everything was getting repoed.
They're gone. They're gone, and their last segment sucked. So that's how you know this fucking shit sucks.
This was so reminiscent of the end of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Hey, same vibe or what?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, yeah, the big empty living room shot.
Yeah, he's like looking around.
I mean, they said they're doing their send off next week, so whatever they've got planned is probably gonna revive the school and keep them puttering along for God knows however long.
That could be a possibility, but I'll be glad if it's over. I just don't see any benefit to have a Chase U. I guess if you just want to have a faction that people are affiliated with, that way you can like put like people that don't really can't establish themselves on air as a mic presence and like put them in a faction where they can go in ring wise and like be associated with the brand of Chase U. But it's a stupid gimmick in the first place. So I don't know why you would try to associate with yourself with that. Andre Chase has the worst ring gear and look I've ever seen in a wrestler.
He looks like shit.
He has his big ass goatee.
He looked absolutely like shit tonight.
Big ass goatee. I don't know if it's intentional, trying to tell a story. Oh, he's sad as no. I just think he looks like that. I think they tell him like, oh yeah, you look great, brother. Like, bro, you
got a problem with goatees?
Well, hey, look, one man's to another, bro. One, you know what? I'll say this. I'll say your seat glued on. At least your goatee fits your face. His goatee is hanging off his face, and I don't know. I think he's trying to cover an underbite. I don't know what's going on, but not a fan of the Andre Chase look, man, and or of the Chase U stuff in general. But it is what it is. I just don't get it. Must be a
I think
I don't get it.
The best thing that Chase U ever did was make Duke Hudson and JC Jane into decent people.
Yeah. There you go.
It gives people something to do. If it gives you something to do, then okay, whatever. But just not my thing.
You guys remember the guy that they had in there before they brought in Duke Hudson? What's his name?
I don't.
I'll be honest with you.
Okay, Brody Hayward, I think is who he is now, but they called him something else.
Hayward Brody. No, I don't know.
Probably.
Just wish it.
Just since we were talking Chase U, that was the thought in my head.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I'm not sure offhand, man, but yeah, it was a Chase U segment. It was over the top. It was goofy. It had background music. It had probably the worst line of the night. Was it without the trophy? We aren't Chase University. Like, it's just, again, we talk about like human beings do not talk like this.
Yeah,
and so
yeah. And they're the worst. Man. They're the worst perpetrators of the backstage skit curse that NXT has, where it's just everything is so hokey and overacted, overplayed, and it's like you can't suspend your disbelief. Back when I can't think of no examples right now. But like, I can't. It's just what I think about Chase U. It's just like, how can I intelligently speak about this faction and give my negative thoughts on it without sounding salty or just going off of rails? But I really don't like this faction, bro. I really don't know.
I get it. I understand, man. That's like me on Monday nights yelling about Ivar on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
I get it. Don't hiss at her. Sorry, cats.
Hey man, you got to get your parenting in, man. We get it, man.
Right,
parents 24/7 job, man.
Exactly.
You're way bigger than her. Calm down. But this led into Dragon Lee taking on Scripps with OTM hanging out at ringside there. God damn, what a match.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing,
Absolutely.
man. So yeah, you got a high flyer in Scripps. You got a high flyer Dragon Lee. They're gonna do some crazy shit, some viral moments. Not a fan of OTM. I just you can't waive the fact that this dude was dressed like a fucking Final Fantasy background character, dog. And then the next week he's from the hood, the slums, or whatever. And I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like the retconning of like Scripts, but he can still put on cool matches and stuff.
He's incredibly athletic.
He's a great, and he was on Circus de Olay, for those who don't know, professionally. So he's great at flips and everything like that. Great at getting viral moments and attention on the product too. Another good. That's why it's valuable to have him. Right. But it's just like, I don't know. The gimmick doesn't really work for me because it's like, dude, no, you weren't. Even if he was, maybe he was, but that's not how you were portrayed. and it's kind of hard to shake that. Hopefully, like new viewers that see him was like, oh, this is this guy. They don't have any memory of the guy in the mask or anything like that. So maybe that's what they're going for too.
Well, and to be fair, when they brought Scripps in and put him under the mask, they thought they were going to get away with repackaging Reggie, and the fans saw right through it. And then that's really what led to that mask character collapsing.
Yeah.
I think it's ironic that they're doing the thing that most people ask WWE to do, which is like, please take the real person and turn the volume up to 10. Because, apparently in real life, Scripps has a history, but they already established him on television for like a year in front of everybody as an established TV character. He was like Carmella's guy. And then he had another thing on NXT before this too, right? So you get that reaction where it's like,
and Dana Brooke's husband in the 24/7 scene.
Oh God, I forgot that happened. Yeah, you can't go through 5 gimmicks and then be like, okay, well now he's the real one.
Like, this is like the second gimmick, I get it, but this is like the 5th time he got reinvented.
Exactly.
And 4 of those times he didn't have a mask.
It's why I think presentation and establishment is so important. People think you can just turn it off and turn it on as a new guy, but it's like, no, you've already had him on television for a year, and people think of him this way. That's never going to change.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But Lee picks up the win in about 5.5 minutes. Like I said, it was a blast of a match. Super fast paced, a lot of quick high spots, a lot of fun.
How do we feel about Dragon Lee staying on NXT instead of going back to SmackDown?
I'm angry about it. I'm glad.
Why is that?
Because he's not an NXT wrestler anymore. I get they have to shoehorn in the whole he lost the title, so he gets a rematch thing. Which, you know what? Honestly, I'm fucking sick and tired of the rematch clause. It just leads to it's just weak booking. You lost the belt, get to the back of the line. Like, he didn't even hold it that long. Like, if you get a rematch, there should be some sort of rule where it's like, okay, you lose the belt, you get a rematch if you had at least 10 successful defenses. Yeah, 6 months, something. But
and that's a real 6 months, not a Roman Reigns 6 months.
Exactly. Although acknowledged.
Of course.
But yeah, it's I want him just to stay on SmackDown, and I get they feel like they have to do the rematch, and I'm sure that Dragon Lee and Oba are going to have a fantastic match. Lee's going to sell his ass off. Oba moves really well anyway, but Dragon Lee could create the kind of movement that could make the Ultimate Warrior look good in the ring.
Yeah.
I
think in that.
Yeah, because it's Rick. Rick Rude. If you ever watch a Rick Rude and Ultimate Warrior match, it's a shame they didn't have this an above view of the ring, because it would probably be like Warrior standing in a 3-foot radius and Rick Rude just flipping around him. But Dragon Lee's fantastic. So it's going to be a great match. But I want him just off of NXT, back up to the main roster where he's actually at. He's an NXT wrestler. That's what he's billed as. But I get why they're doing it. I just wish they weren't doing it. And
he'd get lost in the shuffle on SmackDown. At least they have a place for him in NXT.
Yeah, for now. But I kind of assume after this is resolved, he'll be back up to SmackDown.
Oh, fingers crossed.
I would think.
I would hope so.
Are we thinking at least as long as Wes Lee is out injured?
Maybe. I don't think Dragon Lee would be the guy to replace him. I don't think you need to necessarily.
They literally called in Dragon Lee to replace him.
I don't know why.
It's the last name. Know what I mean? It's the last name. They need a Lee. It's a Lee quota on the ring.
That's fair.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, that makes sense. Oh, you know what? Well, it's that's his cousin, right? Like kayfabe. They're related, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The family tree. You know what I'm saying?
Right. This is like the Funks.
We're all cousins, technically.
Fair. Okay. Fair enough. This is we're a worldwide brotherhood. Now we're getting into more esoteric things. This is an interesting show tonight, guys. This is one for the.
How many? What number rail does this make us going off on?
There are no there. It's
the number does not exist.
It's a lot of rails. We're talking WWE locker room 1984 number of rails.
Ooh, that's a lot of rails.
Yeah, it is. You've seen those Hulk Hogan promos, brother. All right, but so
AI Hogan.
Hogan, which he denies. I was never on cocaine, brother. Yeah, okay, sure.
No, the AI Hogan in the 2K24 commercial.
God. That AI in that commercial is just frightening. Like Polar Express levels of like dead eyes. It was.
It's funny you specifically mentioned Polar Express because I did see a tweet where someone had taken the screenshot of Stone Cold Steve Austin and rewrote that part of the monologue of the Polar Express where it's like, I can't remember what he said, but it's like, and we're going up to the North Pole, and it's like, I would butcher that promo to try and run it off the top of my head, but I get using AI for Hogan to try and make him look younger. Stone Cold and The Undertaker look much better in real life than they do in the trailer. Just bring them in.
Yeah. Oh, geez. Yeah, it was
on a time crunch. I don't know what that was about, but that's all technology is going to be in the future.
Right.
Oh God. I hope we do better as a society than that.
Let's hope. Right. But so our fifth match of the season, we had Blair Davenport taking on Carmen Petrovic. Davenport picked up the win in just a little over 3 minutes. I think quick match just to get Davenport another win, kind of keep her heat going, keep her momentum going. It was this easy 3-minute match. Nothing really to write home about, though.
Quick little match.
Yeah, kind of bummed that they're not doing much with Carmen Petrovic at the moment. Like, she impressed me after her first match in the breakout tournament. Like, she has what NXT is all about. So the fact that she's not doing better and is just being fed to Blair Davenport, who I'm not trying to discredit. She is a great superstar in her own right, but I think they have something with Carmen Petrovic and they're just not using her.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, it's like her biggest story angle has been like issues in the locker room. Oh, you took my locker.
And
that's the main gripe she has.
And then Cora Jade gets injured, and
she got her locker
but there was no like grand acknowledgement on TV. They didn't make anything of it.
It's a shame they can't kind of kayfabe some story in that Carmen's responsible for the injury because of the theft of the locker.
They gave that to Maddie, not Maddie Renkowski. What the fuck is her name now?
Ren Sinclair.
Ren Sinclair. I was gonna call her Ren Wachowski. Mike Wazowski.
Mike Wazowski. There you go.
They said she did it, but commentary said she did it in the Battle Royal. But it happened in the match with Lyra Valkyrie, with fucking Lyra Valkyrie, the fucking NXT Women's Champion. Excuse me. Yeah. So I mean, I thought that
because it was Friday when we were talking about Theory and Carmelo getting hurt in their match on SmackDown.
That's right.
Yeah.
So they storyline gave it to Ren for some reason. So I guess keep that in mind. It'll come around.
Well, and that's like I was mentioning earlier. They tried rewriting history, talking about how Roxanne lost the title in the first place.
Yep.
I forgot that whole thing got wasted, actually, till you guys brought that up. Because Indy gets the belt, and then they call her up. They're like, what are we fucking... And then she gets injured, so now we can say, oh, it was the injury. But you fucking derailed it yourself anyway. Whatever.
Whatever.
All right, but so just pretty easy thing. But then we had what was our match main event? Trick Williams and Josh Briggs. Pretty solid match. Trick wins with a roll up in 7 minutes and 46 seconds. Guys, right after the roll up, Briggs popped back up and hit Trick with that lariat. Is this possibly signaling a heel turn for Josh Briggs?
Yeah, absolutely. And I kind of clocked it in his speech with JBL last week when he's like, you need to find your character, I was definitely like, yeah, he's going to wind up finding his character, and the character that he finds is going to be a real asshole. And I think it's because of this big man thing. Like, they want the brash tough guy, and especially the JBL comparison. Like, that's how Bradshaw was, or at the very least how he wanted to be perceived. But now, definitely kind of shifting towards this heel persona, and I think he did have to break up with Brooks Jensen in order to do it.
Well, and I buy this character from him. Like,
I don't yet.
I'll see now.
Still got to get me a little bit more on board.
I wonder if so. Like, I live in Ohio, but I'm from West Virginia, which is part of the Appalachian Mountains there, and I've known dudes like that. They're just really like, very overtly tough alpha country guys, and I kind of believe that from him. But yeah, you're right. They had to split him off, and where the hell's Jensen been?
Yep. And that's exactly what they were talking about, what was going to happen.
He's been Janetti'd.
He's the genetic.
I have to go. My home planet needs me.
Sparky died.
On his way to his home planet.
Yeah.
But no, it was a good match. Like, I think Briggs is really, really good coming along. But obviously, he's not going to beat Trick Williams. Like, Trick shouldn't be losing. And honestly, they protected Briggs in the loss. It was a quick roll up, and again, like, as soon as 3 was hit, he popped up and nailed him with that lariat. So he was protected, and he didn't look weak in the loss at all. And it had kind of a little bit of a screwball finish there with Dragunov and Mello running around. And
that was still a rough first outing for his first match as a heel character. I think they could have tossed him, at least one softball before throwing him in the ring with Trick Williams. I get, once we get to Vengeance Day, it's all hands on deck for Stand and Deliver. So yeah, you wouldn't really have much time unless you ran it this week, but I don't think that was a great choice to throw him to Trick Williams so quickly.
Yeah, agreed with that. But again, it's just it's kind of just one of the pitfalls of a weekly wrestling show. You've got 52 weeks in the year. Maybe 1 or 2 of those weeks you have an off thing for holiday or whatever. But that's a lot of main events you have to book, and it has to be a relatively compelling main event every week. And sometimes you gotta get them out there a little early. But like I said, that's probably why they had it relatively quick match. And like I said, the finish kind of protected everybody there.
Yeah, sure. Fair.
But we had a little bit of physicality between Trick and Mello tonight.
Like a little like a little
shove.
Like a little shove.
It was kind of a weak shove.
But that was the first. It's a slow burn to this turn, and like, dude, if I'm friends with a guy and we're in a high anxiety environment like NXT backstage, people getting ran over and kidnapped and shit, and I'm beefing with you, and we're beefing like every week of some dissension. I'm probably gonna have to ask some questions like, hey man, what's going on? But I think they're still tied together in this whole NXT tag team thing, so they have to coexist. But they're showing a lot of signs of breaking up. It's gonna happen. If it doesn't, then it's too much buildup, to nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because they've been doing this since we started the show, and that was October. So it's like
it feels like a foregone conclusion that they're gonna send Mello and Trick to Vengeance Day.
Yeah. So maybe they have. Maybe they have a couple more weeks before the actual turn, or maybe after they lose the finals. Maybe they lose to Bron and Corbin. I think that's what it's going to be. I think the final match is going to be them.
Like the semifinal next week against the LWO. I definitely don't see LWO going to the finals.
Yeah, that's gonna be a great match.
Man, that's gonna be. I was gonna say so, man. I agree. It's gonna be a hell.
That's gonna be a good match. I can't wait.
I thought originally that was
definitely
tonight. Was that originally
tonight? I don't think so. I think it was like they promoted it as like an upcoming match, but I don't think they promoted it. I think they had always just said it was going to be this match tonight and then the other semifinal next week, so that we have no time to waste getting us like between now and Judgment or Vengeance Day. I keep wanting to say Judgment Day because you brought it up talking about Vengeance and Judgment Day.
Okay, look, but how mad can you be? Huh? Can't be mad.
That's fair. That's I have like an entire camera roll of dog photos of my shelter dogs for that same reason. I by the way, I took some video today. I'm gonna throw that in our group chat.
Okay,
after the show.
Cool. Got to get a pet update from the guys, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But gentlemen, so anything else on tonight's NXT show, or shall we jump into our Constable Corbins and Megastars of the night?
I think we should go ahead and get into it, man. Let's get into it.
All right.
Yeah,
let's roll on with our Constable Corbin of the night, our jobber of the night here on the NXT Rewind. Guys, I'm going with one Trey Bearhill this evening.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Like I said, like just his presentation has been week and week and week, and
week after week,
week after week is just week, and he's not that good in the ring. Right. I don't think he's got a great look. Like I don't know. Like go back to the drawing board. Like maybe he's got the fundamentals there to be a good hand in the ring and hone the craft, but I don't know. There's just I don't like it, and I don't know how long he's really going to be on NXT television.
Well, and I said the same thing after they took him out of the breakout tournaments. Like, what reason do I have to get invested in Trey Bearhill? And coming into this match, what momentum did he have? He didn't even get a TV entrance for this match. That is how little they thought of Trey Bearhill.
That's bad.
Yeah.
But why demote him like that? Because he was a part of the breakout tournament. He had his drum gimmick. He had the Native American thing going on. I'm not sure.
Yeah, like they just aligned him with Eddie Thorpe the week after that amazing NXT Underground match. You would think that would be a stamp of approval or a sign of things to come, but then he comes out for this match. Eddie Thorpe's nowhere to be found, and it's over in less than 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let me see here. I've got the time in my notes here.
It was like 2:43.
I think I just passed it. Sorry. Like I said, for some reason,
I might be thinking of another match.
My stuff is not quite as organized as there were. A lot of the matches were under 5 minutes tonight. The Derek Davenport match was 3 minutes and 12 seconds. Leaf, I missed 32. Did I go for it?
I didn't catch through all the
231.
231. Okay. Well, just a 2 and a 3 I got right. But yeah, I have no reason to get invested in Trey Bearhill. Yeah. He's my new Constable Corbin. He is my jobber of the night as well.
Real quick, and I guess we're gonna go with the first ever 3-peat jobber of the night because I wasn't feeling Trey Bearhill at all, man. It was gonna be Ren Sinclair for that awful rendition of oh my god, skip, but nah, Trey Bearhill because it's you don't get the entrance. 1, 2, you're not that you're not that eye catching in the ring, and 3, bro, you too much screaming, bro. Shut the fuck up. Shout out to Chris Short. He said, this is a dumb question. I don't keep up with NXT per main roster, but where's Von Wagner and Odyssey Jones? Odyssey Jones, I don't know what the hell happened to him, but
he got drafted to Raw and he was never seen or heard from again.
Damn, and Von Wagner will be appearing next week, which brings no, I'm not gonna make him my megastar. I'm not gonna make him my megastar, but I'm very interested in Von Wagner though. Megastar I would have to think about, but I'll let you guys go first.
All right. CJ, who do you have for your megastar of the night?
Oh God, I have to go with shoot, I think I need a minute too. You go ahead, Tyler.
All right. So I actually had it kind of come down to a couple different people for a couple different reasons, but I went with Trick tonight. just because his presentation continues to be incredibly strong. He's clearly going to be the guy, kind of like how like up on the main roster, everything. It's like, they're invested in Cody. Cody's going to be the dude on the main roster as that face. Shriek's going to be that for NXT. And I think he's going to have a good, strong run when he gets the strap. It ain't happening at Vengeance Day.
Whoa. That's a trick question. I love that. I love that line.
And he's so hot on the mic. Like, he's so damn good at it. And even like little goofy things that like coming out of somebody else's mouth would sound so lame or cringe, as the kids say these days. But like out of his mouth, it's hip, and that takes a lot of fucking cool to do something like that. He might be able to say suffer and succotash and have it work.
Yeah, I go with Trick too, man. Like I said, he's good on the mic. Even like I said, like heavily scripted show. We all know what the deal is, but he makes it work every week. He tries his best to make it work every week, and it does. The stuff with Carmelo Hayes, as redundant as it is, as repetitive as it is, I am like, is this the night? Is this the night? I am still interested. He does go hard in the ring. He has great. He's a great in-ring worker, and when he comes out, he has the best. And he has the best, I think, intro song today.
Yeah,
like it's incredible. It's probably the best entrance probably today. And Booker T just goes crazy on the mic too.
Yeah,
so
Booker T loves it. It's probably his ringtone.
Yeah, with the Booker T edit.
At the very least, Booker T edit for sure.
But Trick is gonna be my megastar of the night.
All right. CJ, who you got?
Compelling argument. I think tonight I'm gonna have to go with Joe Gacy. We couldn't go the three-peat on the megastar, but I thought Joe Gacy had a real solid showing against Dijak, which granted, he's a tough guy with not a tough guy's win streak. So it's not like a win against Dijak. It doesn't carry as much weight as it should, frankly. But the fact that they had a solid brawl that had the match thrown out completely. Joe Gacy gets tossed through a wall and just gets up laughing. Like, that is an absolute maniac character. And if they play it right, it can be this big NXT superstar. And I think they're headed in the right direction. Hopefully they stay that way. He's my megastar of the night for that reason.
Yeah, great choice. And like, he needs to sit in the back of the Performance Center and just watch every minute of every Terry Funk thing he can find. That's what he needs to do. Like, because he can go that kind of character. He can be that brand of lunacy, and I mean, those are big boots to fill, obviously, but I feel like that's kind of like if they want him to be a serious contender for things in the future, like the goofy stuff, like doing the commentary and stuff last week, it's all fun and well, but like if they want him to be serious and be a legitimate contender for things, that would give him going for kind of a Terry Funk-esque character would I think suit him pretty well.
Orange Cassidy has walked into the chat.
Oh boy.
I'm just saying, like, that is a solid example of a gimmick that shouldn't be a championship contender, and yet here we are. I think his level of chaos is exactly what was missing as far as not comedy gimmicks, but comedy-esque. Very anti-establishment, very anti-Joe Gacy. Remember when he debuted as a pacifist?
No, I don't remember that. That might have been before I started watching, I think.
I don't know that pacifist is the right word, but it was essentially like an anti-violence gimmick, where he was like, we don't have to solve our differences in the ring. Like, it's just so dopey. And then it branched off into the sort of cult leader character, because they got flack for that character like a couple weeks after he debuted from, I think it was Right Wingers that had a problem with it. And then that whole sort of this is a safe space sort of, oh, not in my wrestling sort of mentality. So if I remember correctly, if I'm not, please someone in the comments correct me. But I think this is the absolute best version of Joe Gacy. And while I'm talking about Schism too, shout out to the grizzled young veterans making their TNA debut. Yes, this was it here. Yeah, Fox News was reporting on Joe Gacy and his super woke character. But yeah, shout out to grizzled young vets finding their foothold in TNA. Definitely a step above what they were doing in the dyad, and Joe Gacy's doing well for himself. Obviously, Ava's doing well for herself. Big things to come for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
But Joe Gacy is absolutely megastar of the night.
Oh yeah. We've enjoyed the character, and we'll see what 2024 has in store for him. All right, gentlemen, real quick here before we go off the air, we'll just tell the folks where they can find us. I want to CJ, where will we see you next, and where can the folks find you?
Well, I will be rewinding SmackDown this coming Friday. It is the go home show to the Royal Rumble. Super excited for that.
Road to WrestleMania, baby.
We are kicking off the road to WrestleMania in a big way. We've got, and I believe we still have the traditional Royal Rumble rewind show as well. Happy to do that on Saturday.
Forward to that.
And then, of course, as every week, I will be here again on Tuesday rewinding NXT. Until then, you can also find me on Twitter at CJCarter22. Happy to be part of the Dirt Sheet Rewind family.
Yeah, man. Y'all can catch me on. You can catch me on IG or X at Young Suplex or Digital Suplex. Depends on which one you use. And every Tuesday here at the Dirt Sheet Rewind for NXT Tuesdays.
Right on. And as always, I am Tyler, the Pro Wrestling Hipster at PW Hipster on all platforms, and the Pro Wrestling Hipster over on Facebook. Always here every Tuesday night with CJ and Soup breaking down NXT. Always doing the Raw Rewind with Caesar and Eduardo on Monday nights. And I believe I will be present for the Royal Rumble Rewind this Saturday night. Looking forward to that. Rumble is always one of my favorite shows. It's going to be we're going to have a lot to talk about. It's going to be, pretty big. Last time with the Survivor Series Rewind, it was pretty big show.
It was chaos.
Yeah. And I expect similar things there. So it's going to be a good time.
Do we want to do quick Rumble picks before we go off the air?
Yeah. We did a couple last night. We're going to be hitting this hard this week. And I think, too, we're doing a little official Dirt Sheet Radio contributors predictions this week as well. But, yeah, gentlemen, who do you have?
If we say it now on air, they can just clip us into the recap collage.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about mine. I don't know. I think for men's, I think they can go pump. I'm gonna do y'all one better. Watch this. For winner, I'm gonna say Cody Rhodes, because they're obviously putting a lot of attention on the back-to-back aspect. Surprise entrant, The Rock.
I can see The Rock in it. I can see it, absolutely.
TKO, head of TKO. Back on WWE programming. Every time he's back on WWE programming, he's reposting it a lot. He's mentioning the fact that he's wrestling a lot, and he teased the head of the table thing. I think we might get The Rock as a surprise entrant. For the women's, I think Bayley might win the women's.
Yeah.
Shout out to Chris Short. I think he said Bayley too.
Yeah, I agree with Bayley winning the women's Rumble. I think the men's is going to wind up being CM Punk, because if Seth Rollins is healthy enough to wrestle at WrestleMania, if they weren't gonna vacate the title, I would have said Cody Rhodes, but because Seth is holding on to it this close to the Rumble, I think they're gonna bank on, okay, CM Punk is gonna be the main event regardless. Let's have him win the Rumble, and then even if he's not challenging Seth Rollins, if we do have to vacate for the title, we can crown a new champion at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Okay.
I could absolutely. I could see that. So it comes down in my head between Punk and Cody Rhodes. I think it's going to be Cody. I think they've been hitting that finish the story thing hard. It's part of the video game promotion now. Like, I really feel like they want him to finish the damn story. That being said, what are the chances we have a Bret Hart Lex Luger-esque finish with Punk and Cody going out at the same time?
They haven't had a co-winner in a while.
Yeah, they're both declared winners. Punk chooses Rollins. Cody chooses Reigns. Night 1, night 2, bada bing, bada boom.
They can literally just do what Batista and John Cena did back in 05.
Yeah. So seriously, I mean, they could do it. They could do something like that. I don't know. And by the way, I know they teased it with the 40 years of Hulkamania thing. I do not want to see Hulk Hogan make a surprise appearance at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, no, just not even in the match, not even at the pay-per-view. Just stay home.
Yeah. I was irritated enough that he got that long of a segment that night. Here's the thing: you have to acknowledge Hulk Hogan in WWEF. Like, you have to. He's such a large part of the history, but you don't need to keep giving the dude paydays.
No,
he's like gonna be at the
I can't even understand the I can even appreciate the 40-year celebration. You want to throw some merch out, fine, whatever. But the reason why I don't hop on the Raw show with you guys is because I have prior commitments Monday night. So as soon as I get home, it's like 9:30 and Raw is over at 10. And so I get to skip that entire thing, and I'm just skipping 30 seconds, thinking it's going to be like 2-3 minutes. Holy cow, what the hell? Why were they leaving us on Hulk Hogan for like 7.5 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it was. But so I don't want to see him as a surprise entrance. I could see Brock making a surprise return.
I can see Brock.
How do we feel about Braun Strowman?
Braun Strowman could potentially return. He could potentially return too.
If you want to see the internet freak out, we can all just say Okada.
Yeah,
let's not open that can of worms.
His contract's not up until after the Royal Rumble, and now if it was before, man, yeah, absolutely. I would love to see Okada in WWE, but it is what it is. I don't think the scheduling, the contract's up in time, but that would be great to see. That would be history. That'd be an AJ Styles moment for sure.
Yeah. All right, well, gentlemen, anything else on tonight's show before we sign off?
That's gonna be it for me, man.
All right. Well,
yeah, I think that's it,
gents. Can't wait till next week. Oh, it's just so much.
Hi, Bruce.
There's just.
Hello, guys. I just want to give my predictions. I think Junkyard Dog coming back. I don't know.
Here's my pet ceramic shark because I don't have a dog.
Oh. That's a surprise entry for your ass. But yeah, man, that's it for me, man.
All right. Well, gentlemen, have an excellent rest of the night. Thank you to everyone out there that watches us live. And for Dirt Sheet Radio, we appreciate it. And have a wonderful night, everybody.
Oh, yeah, man.
Oh,